This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
A quick review. 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, Donald Trump gave a spectacular 100-minute address to Congress. 37 million people watched it live, and the reviews were almost unanimous. It was a great speech, hit all the right tone, all the right notes. The shout outs to the people up in the gallery went over great, as we saw the kid, DJ Daniels, the kid with cancer, the mothers, the angel moms, the freed hostages. It was just a smashing success. So if you're the Democrats, you're stuck. You have to admit that Trump did well, and you absolutely embarrassed yourself. Everybody agrees the Democrats were a utter disgrace, beginning with Al Green, that werewolf from Texas who stood up and forced himself to be kicked out of the chamber, and the rest of them holding up their little ping pong paddles and not cheering for a 13-year-old cancer patient, not applauding angel moms who lost their children, lost their daughters to illegal alien crime, to murder. It couldn't have gone better for the Republicans. It really couldn't have. It was just a smashing success. So if you're the Democrats, you're saying, what do we do now? How do we respond to this? Who's going to be the face of the resistance? Who's going to get out front and make a case for us? And as we discussed yesterday, the new leading light in the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett, she's a loose cannon. I'm sure they're not thrilled. If you're a leader in the Democrat Party, you're not thrilled that this trashy woman is out there making TikTok videos and just embarrassing the whole party. But someone in D.C., I'm not sure who. I'm not sure who's making these decisions. Somebody, maybe at the DNC headquarters. Maybe it's Chuck Schumer. I don't know. Maybe it's Hakeem Jeffries. They had a plan. They said, we got to come up with something that will go viral, something that will make the case for us and maybe, inspire our followers, inspire Democrats, get them fired up about us, about the resistance, about the people who are here to fight Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the people who are here to fight for transgender mice and drag shows in Ecuador, and fight for bureaucrats who don't even show up at work and don't want to lose their jobs, to fight for a bloated, corrupt federal government, to fight for women in sport, men in women's sports, to fight for an open border. They have real issues, real things they want to fight for. So they came up with an idea. Let's make a video. Here's what we're going to do. Make a video. We'll have a bunch of women, senators in Congress, women, and they will pretend to be fighters, like real fighters, like boxers. We won't have any audio to this. We'll just have them shadow box. And that's going to inspire people. That is going to get people fired up to go with us in this battle, this existential fight against Trump and Musk. This is an actual video. If you're not watching along, I'll do the play-by-play. This is an actual idea that someone in the Democrat Party, someone in D.C. came up with. This is the response. I know Alyssa Slotnick did a response. It was pathetic. It was terrible. After Trump's speech, it didn't work. Nobody watched. Everyone turned their TVs off after Trump. But anyway, they came up with a plan. Here's what we'll do. Here's how we'll bring attention to us and our cause and our fight. I saw this morning, and I said, it can't be real. I have to double check. Before I tweet about it, before I retweet, I have to double check. This cannot be real. This has to be a cheap fake. No, it is not. If you want more evidence that the Democrat Party is in utter disarray, is completely lost in the wilderness, This is what they came up with in response to Trump's terrific address to Congress. Watch this, and believe me, it is real. AOC. I don't know who that is. Here's Catherine Clark. Then Mazie Hirono. Here's Jasmine Crockett. Oh my God. So they're jumping around, pretending to punch Catherine Clark, this elderly 61-year-old woman, gray, haggard woman, bouncing up on her toes and pretending to punch AOC, Catherine Clark, Jasmine Crockett. I don't even know who all those people are, but they thought that was a good idea. Fight, 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 it says. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know which is more fun to watch. The resurgence of Trump, the Trump comeback, all the wonderful things the Trump administration are doing, all the great work Elon Musk is doing, all the wonderful things we're seeing from J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth at the border. I don't know what's better, watching them succeed or watching these pathetic Democrats just fail, just absolutely implode every day. It is just amazing that somebody thought that was a good idea. I understand when Jasmine Crockett makes a video, they can't stop her. She's doing her thing. But that was a decision by the party, a group decision to make a video with them bouncing up and down and punching the air and saying, fight. Yeah, fight. It is something I never thought I'd see. I thought Trump would do well. I thought he'd have a good first 100 days, and he is. It is going great, and it's getting better every day. It really is. You wake up every day, as I say, and say, what's he doing today? Well, I'll tell you what he's doing today. He's eliminating the Department of Education. Yes, at 2:00, he's signing legislation or signing an order to eliminate the Department of Education. Get ready. This is the night that Nicole Wallace's head actually explodes, and there's going to be blood on the camera and on the wall behind her. They are going to lose their minds. They can't explain to you why the Department of Education is so important, as Trump has pointed out many times. When it was established in 1979, America was number one in education in the world. We're now number 40, somewhere around number 40. We have failing test scores, failing schools. We've spent billions, if not trillions, on this bloated bureaucracy. He's going to close it down, send the money, send the responsibility to the states, and that is a wonderful idea. Other politicians, other Republicans have threatened to do that. None of them have done it. Trump is just doing things. He's getting things done, and he doesn't give a damn what the Democrats or Republicans have to say. And yesterday, I mean, it's just hard to pick a day, a good day, my favorite day. But yesterday was close. As a resident of Boston and Massachusetts, we got to see my elected representatives utterly embarrass themselves once again on the national stage. It was a competition. This is what we have every day, a competition to say which Massachusetts Democrat is a bigger embarrassment to the state. I know there's a lot of really cringy Democrats out there in Rhode Island and Connecticut and Maine and California and Chicago, but I'll put our guys, our girls, up against anyone. We have the worst people representing us. We'll begin with our mayor. We must begin with our mayor because she's been sheltered. She's been coddled, protected, pampered. She's a little Harvard kid from Chicago, a protege of Liz Warren. And she thinks she's still at Harvard. She thinks she's still in the cocoon and you know, here in Boston, she's protected. She never has to face a tough question. There's no media that really attacks her or holds her feet to the fire. She doesn't have to worry about any confrontations or people calling her out. But this is amazing on a number of levels. First of all, to prepare for her testimony before the House Oversight Committee yesterday, our mayor, Mayor Wu, spent $650,000 of taxpayer money to prepare. She spent it on lawyers and consultants to get her ready for this testimony. And the question is, why do you need that? Why? If you're just going to go there and tell your story and tell the truth and make a stand, why do you need lawyers? Why do you need consultants? She has a huge staff. She has all kinds of people on the payroll who are there to help her, to coach her, to prepare her. And yet she has to piss away $650,000 for a law firm that charges $950 an hour. Just do the math. It's a lot of hours to prepare to testify about, what you believe, what you stand for. Why? If you're telling the truth, if you're not afraid, if you're not breaking the law, why do you have to spend that kind of money? Why do you have to hire lawyers? Why do you need anybody? Just go there. I mean, if they called, Donald Trump to testify or Byron Donalds to testify, they wouldn't need lawyers and consultants. They just sit there, take the oath, tell the truth, tell their story, whatever, debate, argue, whatever you got to do. Why do you need lawyers? I'm just going to break it to the taxpayers of Boston. You did not get your money's worth. You did not get a good return on your investment. First of all, she shows up with the ashes on her forehead. I'm sure a consultant told her to do that. Is she a Catholic? I guess, and she pretends to be. She's one of the biggest proponents of unconditional abortion. Abortion in the third month.
She brought her baby as well.
That's true. And she needed a break at one point to breastfeed her baby. Another tip, I'm sure, from the consultant. Don't forget, we want everyone to know you're a young mother. I'm sorry, you can't go there with ashes on your forehead when the number one issue to you in your life, in your career, is abortion under any circumstances. Abortion. She loves abortion, just like all far-left Democrats. She's not a Catholic. She might pretend to be, like Joe Biden, but she's not a Catholic. Anyway, shows up with the ashes, and she's up there with 3 other mayors, Johnston from Denver, Eric Adams from New York, Brandon Johnson from Chicago. And they are at a disadvantage because they are breaking the law, because they are not cooperating with the federal government, because they are protecting illegal alien criminals, and we all know it. It's as if they thought it was 2021 or 2022 when the federal government was with them, that their goal was to open the border, bring in as many illegals as possible. Hopefully they would eventually vote for Democrats. That was the goal. That was the strategy. So Joe Biden opened the border. As we all know, it was by design. It was deliberate. It was a strategy. And the Democrat mayors were on board with this. They're still on board with the Biden policy, even though Trump is in office, even though Tom Homan is coming. But there were some amazing moments in this hearing. And I don't think I've ever heard an answer that was just so tone deaf, so just lacked awareness, self-awareness, that when Mayor Wu wanted to make one thing clear to illegal alien criminals, rapists, drug dealers, murderers, gangbangers, she said, "You are welcome here. This is your home." She said that yesterday, 2025, after all we've learned, after all the stories we've heard, after all the Laken Rileys, after Rachel Marin and Jocelyn Nungry and the 15-year-old disabled girl who was raped in a Rockland hotel, after the girl who was raped by her father and impregnated, an illegal alien impregnated his daughter in a hotel in Massachusetts. This was the message from the mayor of Boston yesterday. This is what she said after preparing, I assume, for hours and spending $650,000 to get ready. Here was the message to the people of Boston, including the illegal alien criminals. Go ahead.
Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration.
We
Are you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage your budget or
We have the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston is sick of
I'm
having people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have
need.
a question for you because I understand.
It was amazing. She's lying, of course. She's lying. The other mayors answered this question. Eric Adams said they spent $6.9 billion on illegal aliens last year. The mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, $79 million. And then Brandon Johnson from Chicago said 1% of their budget, which is $16 billion. That's not nearly as much as they spent. Mayor Wu knows how much she spent. Of course she does. And she won't answer it. Said, we don't ask immigration status. Well, you put them in Logan Airport. Hundreds, if not thousands, lived in Logan Airport. You put them in hotels. You gave them food and phones and Uber rides and free health care and free dental care and translators and lawyers. And you don't know how much you spent. You are lying. You know what you spent, and you know it's insane. It's insane what you made taxpayers do and continue to make. She didn't even attempt to reach out and say, we're going to try to get the rapists, the really bad guys. We understand. We have to do that. We have to protect her. She said at one point, her job is to keep the city safe, keep the people of the city safe. And in the same breath, said she wouldn't cooperate with federal agents who are trying to get killers and rapists and drug dealers and gangbangers off the street. Yes, that's how you keep the city safe, by keeping MS-13 and Trading Day Aragua guys on the street, stopping federal agents, letting them free so the federal agents can't grab them in the jail, so the ICE guys can't go to the jail and get them, letting them go. That's her policy, letting them go. What else we got from Mayor Wu, who was just overmatched? We just elect the worst people. She just sounds, again, like a college kid in class talking about some, hype theory or something. She's not fit. She's not capable of doing this job. She really is not. There she is with her ashes. Oh, such a good cat. She cares about people. She really does. What a good heart she has. Here she is saying to the illegal aliens, you belong here. Go ahead.
You belong here.
Oh,
This is your home. Boston es tu hogar. Boston, 这里卡有，这是你的家. This is our city.
oh my
We are
God.
the safest major city in the nation because we are safe for everyone.
You, she says, that's what the money went to. If you're a taxpayer, that's where your 600, to get her to memorize a line in Spanish, to tell MS-13 drug dealers and killers, you belong here. This is your home. Man, I got to say, I'm getting a little impatient with my man, Tom Homan. I really am. It is time, Tom Homan. It's been 45 days. Enough talk. Let's get here. Let's arrest. He said the other day he counted 9 child rapists who were set free by local authorities in Massachusetts. Well, let's get him, Tom. Let's come here. Here's another thing she did. She challenged Tom Homan. She knew this question was coming, and she's not happy with Tom Homan. And I'm thinking, good. You got to get her first. We need her calling out Tom Homan.
They play that clip before he speaks.
And then we'll get to Tom Homan's response, which was great. I think it's coming. I think she was playing with fire yesterday. She was challenging him. And if I know Tom Homan, and I do, let's be honest, I've studied the man, and I love him. And he is going to take up this challenge. He will be here soon enough. You better get that lasagna ready, Ironhead, because Tom Homan is coming. Here's Mayor Wu challenging Homan, calling him out, and then Homan's response. Good.
Joining me now, Trump border czar Tom Homan. Tom, now you've been personally called out by the Boston mayor, Michelle Wu, for her sanctuary policies. Well, she also had a response. Watch.
I am bringing hell to Boston. I'm bringing hell to illegal aliens that rape children. That's what I'm bringing hell to. I'm bringing hell to those people who violated this child. These children will never be the same. Their families will never be the same.
Let's talk about Tom Homan. Shame on him for lying about my city, for having the nerve to insult our police commissioner who has overseen the safest Boston's been in anyone's lifetime. Bring him here under oath and let's ask him some questions. I am here to make sure that the city of Boston is safe. Others may want to bring hell. We are here to bring peace to cities everywhere.
Boston should be ashamed of her. Tom, your reaction.
Yeah.
Look, I was on an airplane today. I didn't see that hearing, but thank you for playing that, because now I'm going to sleep like a baby. Because if I can get to live in her mind rent-free every day, that's kind of cool. I love my job. I work for the greatest president in my lifetime. We're making America safe again. President Trump promised American people we're going to shut down illegal alien crime in this country. That's exactly what we're doing. Mayor Wu should be standing side by side with me. Who does not want to bring hell to an illegal alien that raped a child? Not one, many of them. I stopped counting at 9.
You know what? This is the best example of Trump's approach, the common sense approach. What Democrats are doing, what Mayor Wu is doing, is protecting criminals, protecting illegal, real bad criminals. And he's saying, why don't you help? Why wouldn't you want to say, I'm with you. Let's get the real bad guys off the street. If you want to, throw down the gauntlet because of just some illegal alien who's, working at a restaurant or cleaning houses, and say, these are people, we need them. We love them. They're good. They're paying taxes. That's one thing. I mean, I don't agree. I think they should all go, but you should say, okay, Tom, let's get the real bad guys off the street. Instead, she says, this is your home. You belong here. And you get ready, because you're going to hear a story of another gangbanger, another child rapist in Boston who's been let go, set free. And the police commissioner she's referring to, Michael Cox, said he's not going to cooperate. He's a law enforcement alleged agent, and he's not going to cooperate in the federal government's attempt to get real bad criminals off the street. This did not go well for Mayor Wu, or any of the governors, mayors, by the way, did not go well. They just can't even admit it's a sanctuary city. They will not say it. She was asked about it. She said, oh, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't ask people immigration status. We don't know. No, we don't know. 1,000 people sleeping in Logan Airport. They could be legal. Who knows? We didn't ask. She's lying. They are all lying. And when they get to the argument, this drives me nuts. I'm so tired of this. And all the Democrats on this committee who were questioning the mayors, they all went back to this. There's Americans commit more crimes than illegal aliens, which A, isn't true, but B, so what? Who cares? They're Americans. They live here. They're born here. They belong here. That's a separate issue. Every crime committed by illegal alien is preventable. They could have been prevented. Jocelyn Nungary would be alive today. Rachel Marin, Laken Riley would be alive today. Those murders were preventable. All we had to do was close the border, which Trump has done in the last 7 weeks. Did it. So we're not going to have another Laken Riley unless these people avoid law enforcement and commit crimes, commit murder. But what kind of argument is that? Say, oh, but Americans commit murder too. Yeah, so we try to get them too, but we can't deport them. They didn't come into the country illegally. That wasn't a simple matter of keeping them out of the country. But that's all they got. They have no argument. They have no case. Once again, they are lost in the wilderness. It is just sad to see just how far and how far off the rails Democrats have gone. And we got more. Yes, we got more proud, more representatives of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Ayanna Pressley, in this hearing, she put on a show. Again, I say this almost every day. To America, we are sorry. We are so sorry. We send the worst people to Washington, not the worst elected officials, not the worst Congress people, the worst people, just bad people. That's what Ayanna Pressley is. She went at it with James Comer. We got that. And we got lots. We got so much more to get to on this post-Trump speech meltdown from Democrats. We got to, you know what? I could do Jasmine Crockett every day. What a friggin' lunatic she is. Trump laid down the law for Hamas. It's coming. We're going to help the Israelis go after Hamas, and it's going to be great. And there are 2 astronauts still stranded in space. You're not going to believe why they've been stuck in space for 8 months. Because Joe Biden didn't want to bring them home for political reasons. We're going to find out, like, all the things Biden did in his term, and he is just such a bad guy, just such an awful, evil man. We'll tell you about that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
Going online without ExpressVPN is like leaving your kids with the nearest stranger while you go to the restroom. They're probably not a kidnapper or a serial killer, but why would you ever take that chance? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, whatever, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access to and steal your personal data, passwords, bank logins, credit cards, all of it. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Plus, ExpressVPN works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure when you're on the go. It also comes with Identity Defender, a new suite of tools to get your data removed from data brokers, alert you when your data appears on the dark web, and even insure you against data theft for up to $1 million. For me, having online identity protection like ExpressVPN is a no-brainer. I've had my share of problems with online theft before, and it's just not worth the risk. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Gerry. That's expressvpn.com/Gerry to find out how you can get 4 extra months free. Go to expressvpn.com/Gerry. I know I shouldn't get too excited, but wouldn't it be great if Mayor Wu was the first elected official to be arrested by the Trump team? If she actually got handcuffed, frog marched in front of the cameras for obstructing justice, because a number of the Republicans on this committee mentioned that. Nancy Mace said it. Another guy, Palmer, a congressman, said he's going to refer them for criminal charges. This is real. And normally, in normal times, you'd say it's all talk. Not anymore. No, the Trump team, the Republicans, they mean business. So they're going to be referred for criminal charges. And wouldn't that be something to find out that, I don't know, they tipped off illegal aliens that Homan was coming, or they refused to help in some way, that they were up and they were arrested. I'd like to see any of them arrested, but I'd love to start with Mayor Wu. You think she could handle a day in jail? You think she could handle an hour in jail? This little pampered puke, this little Harvard punk. Wouldn't happen. But Ayanna Pressley, of course, was there to defend the policy of making sure illegal alien criminals know Boston's their home, that they belong here. She has turned into just a cartoon character, just the way her demeanor,
she looks
mannerisms, her dress. She's like a villain in a movie, and she's relishing it. She loves it. She thinks like she's important, and she's not. She's irrelevant. You're a backbencher in the minority party. You have no influence, no power. You're just you're an actor, an actress. That's what you are. You're performing for the cameras, and Comer knew it. She intentionally violates the rules here. She doesn't get these documents that she's referring to in the record according to the rules. And Comer's a rules guy. So she violates the rules and starts screaming. And Comer points out she's just doing it for the cameras. This was a great moment. Once again, Massachusetts, hang your head in shame. Your elected representatives are a national embarrassment. Watch this.
Without objection, so ordered. We've put it in the record.
I have an internet.
You have what?
Mr. Chair, can I have several articles. I need to enter them. Let me just go ahead with what the articles are. What they speak to.
What's the next article?
Let me proceed. Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of committees so you can get on MSNBC is going to end. We're not going to put up with it.
This is my procedural right as a member of this committee.
You can go with Mr. Frost and Mr. Green.
I am reclaiming my time.
That's what you want. No. Ms. Presley, I have been very accommodating to you. Mr. Superman,
and I take particular umbrage as a survivor of sexual violence. I will enter into the record. This is my right. Thank you.
No. It is Mr. Subramaniam.
Mr. Chair.
No, you know the process of unanimous consent. You are not recognized.
I have several articles to enter into the record.
Mr. Subramaniam, if you don't go, we're going to recognize Mr. Timmons.
She screams as a survivor of sexual violence. What does that have to do with anything? God, these people are just pathetic. That's her answer. You have to let me break the rules because I'm special. I'm a survivor of sexual violence. And all she was going to do was say Americans commit more rape and murder than illegal aliens. That's their whole mindset. They think their priority is protecting, defending illegal alien criminals over American citizens. Once again, they didn't stand and cheer, clap, applaud for Laken Riley's mom or Jocelyn Ungary's mom. They don't care about them. They're collateral damage. They care about illegal aliens. They are more important to them than actual taxpayers. That's the mindset, the mentality of all these Democrats, and it's blown up in their faces. Thank God Republicans control these committees, or this lunatic would just go off. And he's right. She knew she was breaking the rules. She's just performing for the cameras. She wanted to get kicked out. She wanted that viral moment where she could scream, knowing, as he said, he's been very accommodating. He has been. He lets this nut go off all the time, as long as it's, her allotted time and she's following the rules. But she was just going to sit there and say, Americans, look at this article. Americans commit more crime. So what? Could someone explain that to me? Why that matters? Who cares? Americans commit more crime. So let's let Jocelyn Ungary's murderers into the country. Let's let more of them in. Let's let more Tren de Aragua guys in the country because Americans commit more crimes. That's all they got. They have nothing. And once again, I was thinking that last night as obviously Mayor Wu just fell on her face, just a disaster. And then that clown, Ayanna Pressley, and I'm thinking, who's the biggest embarrassment to Massachusetts? Who is it? It's hard to say. Liz Warren looking at her phone while, DJ Daniels got inducted into the Secret Service, or, you heard the stories of Laken Riley and she's looking at her phone and smirking and doesn't give a damn about victims. They don't give a damn about women either, these clowns in their pink suits who one day before that voted to allow men in women's locker rooms, men in women's sports. They don't care about women. They don't care. If you cared about women, you'd want to get illegal alien rapists the hell out of your neighborhood, out of your community, but they don't care. They care about illegals. For some reason, they're top of the heap. Here's Catherine Clark, the second most powerful person in the House, the most powerful woman, probably in D.C., the whip. And she's, again, another one of these performers, just lying, performing for the cameras. I'm going to say she topped Mayor Wu and Ayanna Pressley. I can't imagine being in someone in whatever, Nebraska or whatever, Arizona, and you see this and you say, Massachusetts votes for this? You vote for this crazy woman who's angry and screaming because Musk and Trump are eliminating waste and fraud in the federal government? I'm sorry, America. I really am. Sorry we sent these clowns to D.C., but listen to this woman. Ask yourself, who does this appeal to other than the Boston Globe and, fellow radicals in Cambridge or Arlington or Revere, where she allegedly lives? As I pointed out, she lives right near a hotel for illegal aliens, the one they caught the guy with the AR-15, a bunch of drugs. It's a couple miles from her home. Never said a word about it. Never said a word. That's okay with her. She's totally cool with the illegal alien criminals toting around AR-15s. She'd have a problem if that were an American, but not if it's illegal. That's fine. Listen to this nut.
I am angry today. I am angry what I saw, that president of the United States who ran and had people vote for him because he said he was going to cut their costs. He was going to make sure they had a chance at the American dream, has come in with an unelected, richest man on earth and taken a chainsaw to everything we care about, everything the American people put their trust in him to do. It is a betrayal. It is a betrayal. So let's not talk about decorum when the plot is exposed and reiterated every single day. You take people's health care, you take our veterans' benefits, you take funding for our public schools, and you do it all of it, to give a tax cut to the very wealthy.
Oh, Jesus. This is all they've got. You do it all to give a tax cut to billionaires. I mean, is anyone buying that anymore? I got to give her credit, though. She told the truth right there. She said he's taking a chainsaw to everything they care about. She's right. They care about the scams they've been running. They care about USAID. They care about the alleged foreign aid for drag shows in Ecuador and LGBTQ stigma in Lesotho. They care about trans mice because they get the kickbacks, because it's all a big scam, because everyone in D.C. is getting rich. It's not foreign aid. It's not helping people. They know that. It's been exposed, and they can't take it. We're going to find out so much more about how many of these people have just gotten rich, their relatives, their friends. Most of that money, it wasn't going to a Sesame Street show in Iraq. It was coming back to D.C., to these scam NGOs and these organizations and that are staffed with their friends and their relatives. And Musk is not stopping. Musk is fearless, just like Trump. Musk is moving on, and he is just going to keep exposing these frauds, and they're going to keep losing their minds. It is just fascinating to watch. All right, speaking of fascinating, 2 astronauts are stuck in space. But Musk is going to go save them. I can't wait for Democrats to criticize for this. Going to go save 2 astronauts who were stuck in space. And Ben Shapiro, this week, it kind of got overshadowed because he did it on Tuesday when Trump said something really controversial, really edgy. He has an idea for the next person Trump should pardon, and it's a great idea. We'll tell you about that. But first.
Excuse me.
All right, small business owners, listen up. If you're tired of losing money to credit card processing fees, we've got something you need to hear. With 24/7 payments, you can eliminate up to 99% of those fees thanks to their fee elimination program. Here's how it works. You pass the processing fees on to customers who pay with credit cards, and in return, you can offer them a discount for paying with cash or debit. It's a simple, effective, and fully compliant way to save thousands every month. Right now, 24/7 payments is switching over 250 businesses every month to this program, and they can have you set up in less than 24 hours. Call 855-504-0799 today or visit them on the web at 247payments.com. That's the numbers 247payments.com. Are your loved ones aging? Has walking become difficult for your parents, your grandparents? It's tough. I've been there. I know lots of you have been there too. Stairs can often be a challenge for them. It's also a significant risk of falling. Well, Lifeway Mobility, one of the largest providers of accessibility solutions, offers stair lifts, wheelchair ramps, home elevators, transfer aids, and bath safety solutions to improve safety, independence, and quality of life at home. Most of their solutions are made in the USA, and they provide professional installation and service. Gain peace of mind and help loved ones stay safe at home. Schedule a free consultation when you call Lifeway Mobility at 888-780-7923. They have locations across the U.S. with showrooms for you to see and test their products. They're also rated the best stair lift company by the National Council on Aging and by U.S. News, and they have over 6,000 five-star reviews. Call 888-780-7923 or visit lifewaymobility.com for your free consultation. That's 888-780-7923. You probably didn't hear this story on any of the mainstream media outlets. I didn't see a lot of it, but they're too busy talking about how Trump's tariffs are going to destroy the world. By the way, I got a question. I've seen a million stories on the tariffs. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't think anybody knows. We'll see. But I got a question. When they talk to people, and they've talked to all the premiers and presidents and heads of the in business in Canada, and they talk about how devastating it's going to be. It's going to raise prices, and the stock market's going to tank. Why don't they ask, how much do you tariff us? Because Trump points that out. Like, his point is a good one. It's a simple one. You tariff us, we tariff you. Reciprocal tariffs. Does anyone have a problem with that? I mean, you hear the numbers like, Switzerland has got a 200% tariff on American cars, or Germany. And you say, what do we tariff them? If Trump says we're going to just tariff them what they tariff us, why do you have a problem with that? Why should we have that unfair agreement that's been in place for decades? He just wants to fix that. Will it cause chaos in the market? Maybe. But I understand why he's doing it. They have these people in these, whatever they're called, these heads of the provinces. I just watched one on CNN, head of Alberta. And she's just talking about how unfair this is. And they never ask, how much do you tariff us? 50%. So we tariff you, and that's somehow unfair? Why? Well, I mean, again, you could say it's not going to help things or help the market or it's going to raise prices. But tell me why it's unfair to tariff them the same way they tariff us. Is that too much to ask? I don't know. Here's the other story you haven't heard much of. 2 astronauts stranded in space. In June 2024, astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore were due to stay for 1 week on the International Space Station, but technical difficulties have left them stuck in space for 9 months. On March 4th, Williams and Wilmore took part in a press conference ahead of their planned return on a SpaceX spaceship called Crew Dragon, which will take place sometime after March 12th. They've been stuck in space for 8 months. They were supposed to be there a week. Do you know about this? Sometime in the last 8 months, Elon Musk and SpaceX offered to save them. Said, we could do it. We can get them out. Joe Biden said no. You know why? Because Elon Musk. He left 2 astronauts, 2 Americans, stuck in space for 8 months because he didn't want Elon Musk to get the credit, particularly during, the campaign. Didn't want Musk to get the credit. And of course, no one really mentioned this because, it's just speculation. Well, the astronauts did a press conference, as I mentioned yesterday, and I'm not sure what the politics of these 2 are, these guys, this guy and this girl. They confirmed it. They said, yes, Musk is right. The story is right. He offered to save us, and Biden said no. Biden said no. Let them stay up there. Anyone hear about this? Anyone know about this? Imagine Imagine if this were reversed, if Trump left 2 astronauts in space just because he didn't want a Biden ally to get the credit. Here's the 2 astronauts still stuck there in whatever they call that, no gravity, floating around their spaceship for 8 months because Biden hates Musk. Watch this.
My question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that maybe that you would be hoping for.
It was amazing. Every day you hear Jasmine Crockett called Musk, called him stupid. AOC called him stupid. They call him a grifter. He's stealing money. While he's saving the country, while he's rooting out all the waste and abuse and fraud and exposing all these scams, these Democrat scams, he's saving 2 Americans who are stuck in space. The guy is just remarkable. We are lucky to have him. We should all be thankful. This is just incredible. Biden left him there. Sorry, don't want Musk to get the credit. You got to wait till the election. And nobody says a word. Nobody says, God, that's awful. Joe Biden is just the worst. He's just the worst guy. Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, the whole family is just so disgusting. All right, I want to do this before we wrap this up. Ben Shapiro put out a short video 2 days ago. I think it was Tuesday. And it got overshadowed because of Trump and everything else going on. But it was pretty powerful. And I have to say, I have to give him credit because I've talked about this. We've talked about George Floyd because the documentary, The Fall of Minneapolis, write this down, put this down, log on to thefallofminneapolis.com. You must watch it. In fact, I don't want to talk about this with anybody who doesn't watch this documentary. It's free. It's fascinating. It will blow your mind. Everything you were told about George Floyd is a lie. Everything. And it's all there. It's demonstrable. I mean, you see it. The George Floyd was not murdered by Derek Chauvin. He was not. It's irrefutable. And I already saw one segment this morning on CNN. They brought George Floyd's brother on to say how awful this is, disgraceful. They brought on Keith Ellison, the commie DA in Minneapolis, to say George Floyd, was murdered by Chauvin, and Chauvin's never getting out. He was not murdered by Derek Chauvin. It was in the autopsy. They changed the autopsy. He had a deadly dose of fentanyl in his system. He had a heart defect. And Chauvin did not put his knee on Floyd's neck. He used a maneuver that is taught to the cops in Minneapolis. It's proven in this documentary. In fact, they show the police chief lie under oath, and then they bring out a bunch of cops, retired cops, who say they were absolutely taught that move. Knee on the shoulder. Chauvin did not murder him, and there was no racial component. There was nothing about race. They never even introduced any evidence that this was a hate crime. Chauvin didn't kill Floyd. Chauvin's in prison for life. And Shapiro says, here's a guy to pardon. Why not? I mean, the state of Minneapolis is going to keep him in jail on state charges, but he is not guilty of the federal charges. This is going to take some balls on the part of Trump. It really is. This is going to be, if Trump does this, it's the right thing to do, but it would be huge. It would cause all new George Floyd riots. But anybody who watches the documentary, actually reads about the case, actually studies it, knows that this trial was completely corrupted, that the governor Tim Walz, the mayor, Jacob Fry, the police chief, all lied. They all knew it, and they all lied for obvious reasons. They did not want to give in to the they did not want to face down the mob. They did not want to take on the mob. The mobs we saw cause havoc around the country. If the right thing is done here and Chauvin is pardoned, it's going to happen all over again. But let's watch a little bit of Shapiro's video, which didn't exactly go viral, but it might, because people are going to look into this again. Watch the documentary and tell me Shapiro is not dead on. Here, go ahead.
If we are issuing pardons, however, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should pardon him his federal charges. If we are talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously COVID and its handling was a massive evil. Destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children, led to massive health-related cover-ups, just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not, in fact, commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on fentanyl. He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for a large segment of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck. The autopsy of George Floyd showed that he had no damage to his trachea, that probably George Floyd died of excited delirium. There were no accusations, even at trial, that Derek Chauvin had committed a hate crime against George Floyd or that he targeted George Floyd because of his race. Nonetheless, on the basis of extraordinarily scanty evidence, and despite the fact that there was massive pressure on the jury, that the mayor of Minneapolis paid a settlement to the George Floyd family immediately, that the president of the United States suggested that Derek Chauvin was guilty right off the bat, that the jurors were being openly threatened and admitted as much. Despite all of that, Derek Chauvin was convicted on federal charges and pled guilty to federal charges. Derek Chauvin should, in fact, be pardoned on that. We will be covering that a lot more in coming weeks, because I think it is worthwhile to remember that there is a man who is rotting in prison because the media decided in the middle of 2020 that they were going to turn a tragic law enforcement stop that ended with the death of a man who had a significant problem with drugs and pre-existing health problems into the raison d'etre of the entire 2020 election.
All right. I don't even know what a raison d'etre is, but this is such a good point. The reason it's not being covered, the reason more people aren't calling for this is the same reason he was convicted. The mob. People are afraid. People don't want to face the mob. People don't want to take a chance. And everyone who watches the documentary, everyone who reads extensively about the case knows what Shapiro said is true. They know he had a deadly dose of fentanyl in his system and a heart defect. And they know Chauvin's knee wasn't on his neck, but they don't care. They don't care because it takes guts to come out and say that. And it would take real guts for Trump to pardon him. And it would be largely symbolic. Again, the state's not going to let him go, but it would be the right thing to do. And it would cause some real unrest in the streets, but it's the right thing to do. And Trump so far has been doing a lot of right things that take guts, things like eliminating the Department of Education. This would be a step further, and it would take real courage, but it would be the right thing to do. We will see. Today, he begins with eliminating the Department of Education and telling Hamas, turn over the hostages or you're all going to die. He delivered a great statement yesterday. My only question is, where was this statement 500 days ago? Why didn't Joe Biden, why didn't other world leaders do this? Turn over the hostages or you're all going to die. Simple as that. We will see what they do. but it's about time someone called out those savages, those scum. They got a lot of support on college campuses, but not in the White House anymore. We'll see how that goes, but we will leave it there for today. Thanks to everyone for watching and listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Is she crazy?
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, too many thank yous.